Nilsson Schmilsson by Harry Nilsson. I recently watched a documentary about Harry Nilsson on one of the streaming services. I have always wondered why this album was so successful in the rock era, when Nilsson was never very rock and roll. I often see copies of this album in charity shops, usually not in great condition, but I picked this album up in excellent condition for a fiver at Collector's Paradise in Chesham. I first became aware of Harry Nilsson when I watched the animated children's film The Point on TV. I probably watched it because we were so starved of my kind of music on TV at the time. It has sweet, simple songs and the kind of Sesame Street message of tolerance that seems to have been a bit of a waste of time. Nilsson's first big break as a songwriter was having his song Cuddly Toy performed by the Monkees on their TV show, and his big break as a singer was Everybody's Talking at Me, the theme to Midnight Cowboy. He was friends with the Beatles, who championed his early work. I particularly like a song from his first album called Without Her, though I prefer the version by Blood, Sweat and Tears. His voice is the kind that few would have trouble with, but in my youth I thought it was one for the mums and dads. His songs are unusual, sometimes a bit gimmicky, sometimes a bit jazzy, sometimes a bit vaudeville, and a bit like show tunes. They seem to aspire to the great American songbook. Nilsson Schmilsson is probably his artistic peak, though only 3 of the songs appear on a Nilsson compilation CD I have. One of these songs is a rather sweet number called the Moonbeam Song. One is the bafflingly popular Coconut song, and the other is his cover of the Badfinger song Without You. Without You, along with Everybody's Talking at Me, are probably his most famous songs and his biggest hits, even though he didn't write either of them. On the album Nilsson Schmilsson, all the stops were pulled out to make Nilsson big, and they succeeded only for him to throw it all away. He hated to play live, and he loved narcotics and booze. It was never going to end well. The album is produced by Richard Perry, who produced big-sounding and big-selling albums for many of the middle-of-the-road acts of the day, like Barbra Streisand and Diana Ross. Even now it still sounds fantastic, though in my 60s I still find it sounds a bit too much like it is for the mums and dads. The songs are incredibly well performed, though I did find his version of Let the Good Times Roll to be a bit unnecessary. I also did not need ever to hear the Coconut song again. I don't think it is one of his best compositions, being very much in the novelty bracket, yet it is possibly the most played of his original songs. This album comes from a time when 2 sides of vinyl were programmed to be an entertainment in their own right. This record has a mood, and to play it might put you in that mood. It has highs and lows, big productions and moments with just piano and strings. It is sandwiches and cake. It is an artifact that typifies a bygone era. I must admit I quite like the overall listening experience. Nilsson Schmilsson.